There are certain seeds that need a little bit of extra care, and that is called cold stratification. Now there's a special way to cold stratify your seeds other than the conventional way that's pretty easy, is going to save you time, and gives you great results. Let's talk about it. First, what is cold stratification? Cold stratification is simulating winter. We are essentially putting seeds through winter-like conditions that essentially helps break their dormancy. You see, if these seeds are not given winter-like conditions, they will stay dormant until they get the winter-like conditions, resulting in very poor germination rates. And oftentimes gardeners think they did something wrong, which they technically did, but more or less they think they did something wrong with germinating the seed, or that something is wrong with the seed's germination rate or the viability, when in reality it's just that they needed colder temperatures. So essentially what we're doing is we're tricking these seeds into thinking they went through winter. Now these seeds commonly come from varieties that have to experience winter-like conditions and survive them, so they would be perennial. Now what happens is the parent plant will drop seeds during the previous growing season, and they'll stay in the ground, they'll stay dormant. And the reason why they stay dormant until they experience winter weather is it's a survival method. Because when you're looking at annuals, annuals are intended to grow, drop seed, and they could potentially regrow again. They're very fast turnaround crops. They don't necessarily rely on winter to reset anything, and winter doesn't necessarily matter, except winter just kills them off. Winter will kill them. If it gets below freezing, the plants don't typically survive, and that's why we call them an annual. It happens within one growing season. Whereas perennials continue to grow, and so the parent plant will continue to grow, but the seeds dropped from the flowers or fruits will stay dormant until they experience winter. And then once the winter weather passes and things warm up, then the seeds know it's warm and it's safe to start growing. So I've got quite a few different seeds here that fall under that cold stratification needed category. Seeds like poppies, beautiful flowers, need to be cold stratified. Milkweed, great for pollinators, great for butterflies, especially the monarch, needs to be cold stratified. Strawberries, everyone's favorite garden fruit, also needs to be cold stratified. Rosemary and lavender all need to be cold stratified. Now, how do we cold stratify them typically? Well, typically what we would do is we would take our seeds, place them on a damp paper towel, and put them in the fridge for 3 to 4 weeks, remove them from the fridge, essentially giving them about 3 to 4 weeks of at or near freezing temperatures. Don't put them in the freezer. Freezers get far too cold and can actually damage the seed. Just put them in the bottom drawer, in the crisper, or in the back of your fridge where you can forget about them for 3 or 4 weeks. Pull them out, and then once they're exposed to warm weather, they should start to germinate. Now, all seeds that need cold stratification will need temperatures below 40 degrees. And so that's ultimately what you're getting. At or around 40 degrees is kind of that sweet spot for cold stratification. It doesn't have to be snowing out like it is here in Michigan. But there is another method of cold stratification that is really simple, completely hands-off, because often what happens is the seeds start to sprout in these bags, you forget about them, or you damage the tiny little roots that start forming, and sometimes you might not be ready for them to sprout. You know, when they start to sprout, they need to be transplanted into soil right away, or they're going to risk dying. What happens with this other method is we let nature choose the time when they start to germinate based on how they would do it naturally. And that second method is known as winter sowing. Now, winter sowing is based on the idea that we can take a water bottle or a milk jug and we can cut it. And then we can fill that with soil and then put it back together once we have the seeds inside. It'll essentially create a little greenhouse, which gives the adequate conditions to help the seeds germinate, provide adequate moisture to keep the seeds damp, but we're putting them outside during winter, during January and early February, to give them time to cold stratify naturally. And then once spring comes, the weather's warm, you're gonna have seedlings already growing inside these containers that then you can scoop out or take out and separate and plant right into your garden. Super, super foolproof. Very easy for anyone to do. Sorry, it's a little loud. Okay, so once we got them cut, we're going to simply invert the bottoms here and put some drainage holes in. It's very important you do that because without drainage, your seeds are going to drown and you're going to encourage issues like root rot or damping off and also mold and mildew, and also algae. Especially when they're clear like this, there's going to be a lot of sun exposure to the soil, and anytime damp soil is exposed to sunlight, you're going to get green algae. So expect that. That's not uncommon, but you can help to reduce algae growth and other issues by just adding 2 or 3 drain holes to the bottoms. And I'm going to show you 3 different ways that you can orient your winter sowing containers. Now, if you've ever winter sown before, you probably have seen the first method, and that's just through cutting it in half and filling it with soil, planting your seeds, taking the top and taping it back on, or just kind of forcing it in so that it sticks. And that absolutely works just fine. You can either leave the cap on or leave the cap off. Kind of creates a little greenhouse effect. And that's the first way. The second way is the inverted top method. And I really like this method. I think it's actually quite ingenious. Now, one of the issues is that if you don't have drainage holes, this can really exacerbate and create some problems for you. But as long as you have drainage holes, what you do is you essentially take your top, or your bottom, I should say, fill it with your soil. And obviously you're going to plant your seeds. We're going to plant our seeds after this. Because we got to do quite a few more. Too many for this video. I've got 10 packets of seed there, and I got a bunch more inside that we're going to be winter sowing. So we'll do that the rest off camera, but we'd put our seeds in. Now, when you put your seeds in, this applies for any of these 3 methods of winter sowing. You want to put multiple seeds. Don't put 1 seed. A common question we always get asked is, do I put 1 seed, 3 seeds, 10 seeds? How many? You want to put roughly, I typically put about 10 to 15 seeds. Some put even more than that. You don't want to put 1 or 2. It's just very wasteful on space, and it's not very efficient. Because ultimately what we're going to do is when these germinate, we're going to scoop them out with a spoon, separate them very gently, and then transplant them either into a cell pack or directly out into the garden where they can grow from there. And it just allows us a very convenient way to start many seedlings, multi-sown. Once you have that method, I filled it up with a little too much soil. The second method is the inverted top method. Now, a lot of people struggle to get adequate water into their seedlings. So what do? You invert the top, and then still have a little bit too much soil here. With this style container, it wasn't quite the smartest for this, but basically there you go. You put your seeds in the bottom, and the inverted top acts as a funnel which traps rain and funnels water in. Many people will say if you just leave the cap off that ample amounts of rain will get in to water your seeds. Sometimes I find that's not the case, especially if it's been very dry and the water is infrequent. You're not going to get sufficient water in there, and sometimes they can dry out and then your seeds won't germinate well. With the inverted top method, you're essentially creating a funnel that's going to catch water. It's going to irrigate the soil, irrigate the seeds. Any excess water will drain out those drainage holes that you did, and that is that method. And then there's the flip top method. And I think this is also very convenient. This keeps them very together so you don't have as many parts, because at the end of the day, the less parts you have, the less parts you can have flopping all over the place. I cut 3 sides, left the 4th side intact, so it hinges closed, just like that. Very simple, super easy, and that way you don't really have to tape anything. You can just take your soil, fill it up, drainage holes as always, put your seeds, cap on or cap off. Haven't found one method particularly to work better than the other. Hinge it closed. You can put some tape on it if you want, but it's good to go. Ready to start seeds, and you can do that. So, like I said, these are 3 different methods of winter sowing. Which method is best? It's up to you. Experiment, try, see which one you like best. Also, one final note here is a lot of you ask, is there ever a time when it's too late to winter sow? The answer is yes, it is. There is a time when it's too late to winter sow. Winter sowing needs to be done, at least where we're at kind of here in Michigan, within the months of mid to late January and no later than early February. I typically say after Valentine's Day, it's too late. So you want to do this method from now until about Valentine's Day. After that, you've lost out on that precious window to winter sow, but you can always use the damp paper towel method indoors in the fridge. Final question I think a lot of you ask is, does this apply to just perennials? And the answer is no. You absolutely 100% can apply this to just about any crop. It's just sometimes the results may vary. I've seen plenty of success with this being done with tomatoes, brassicas like cabbage, broccoli, kale. I've seen it done with lettuce. There's really no limit to the types of crops you can winter sow. I personally just find, since we have a grow room, we have a greenhouse, we have lots of ways to start those other seeds, I like to do winter sowing with the crops that need it most, which are those perennials, the ones that do need that cold stratification, because that's what we're doing, is we're throwing them outside. And then when weather warms up and it becomes time for the seeds to germinate, they're going to germinate when the time is right, and you don't have to do any moving, you don't have to do any fussing, you don't have to do very little maintenance. The seeds will germinate on their own, and then you just simply take the top off when they're germinated, take the top off, scoop them out, and move out to the garden. And you're going to have such an abundant harvest. You're going to have so many plants growing that you won't even know what to do with all of them. So that is winter sowing in a nutshell. I hope you all enjoyed. I hope you all learned something new. If you did, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and let me know in the comments box down below your favorite method of winter sowing, if you have winter sown, if you don't winter sow, and what seeds, if you have tried winter sowing, what seeds worked well for you. I'd love to know. That's how we all learn, and that's how we create great conversation within this community. So thank you all so much, and I appreciate you. And as always, this is Luke from the MIgardener channel, reminding you to grow bigger. Take care. Bye. Hey, thank you so much for watching today's video. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed, consider clicking this one. You'll probably enjoy it just as much. I want to thank you for your viewership, because without it, this channel would not be as amazing as it is. Also, if you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing. It's free, and we upload videos every Monday, Wednesday, or Friday. We also have vegetable seeds, fertilizer, or tools. If you need any of those, consider visiting MIgardener.com. Links will be in the description box below. We've got you covered. And as always, we'll see you all in the garden. Take care.